Okay, hello and welcome to the unboxing video for Gloom of Kilforth, a Fantasy Quest game. The first thing I wanted to show you, which is obviously important to EU backers, is that I live in the UK and this was dispatched from within the EU. I don't know if you can see that there. But that meant that obviously I wasn't charged any extra customs or VAT for the delivery, which is awesome. It means that we've cracked that EU friendly delivery straight away. This prototype copy was dispatched from Germany, so there was no extra charges there. And I do want to reiterate, obviously this is a prototype. The Kickstarter campaign will fund all of the costs for the full production of the game. So obviously whilst I wanted everything to be perfect in the first delivery, there are a couple of minor issues which I've spoken to the printer about and we have got solutions in place. So I'll talk you through those as we unbox the prototype, but I wanted to share this with you because it's so exciting! My copy of the game's finally arrived. Okay, so here it is. Here's the box. Gloom of Kilforth, a Fantasy Quest game. Okay, so it's not necessarily final art, but it looks pretty cool. It's a nice little size. Back print, bit of flavour text there, upside down, oops. And let's have a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's what you get in the game. Rulebook. Full colour, beautiful artwork on the back here. I don't know, again, not final layout. I just wanted a couple of extra pages to see what the art looks like. Patrick Brennan, who does a lot of the rules proofing for Fantasy Flight games, has been through these rules with a fine-tooth comb and made sure that they're so much better than the kind of gubbins that I put together by myself. He's looked at the game completely objectively to make sure that all the rules are consistent and the terminology is consistent and everything, which is absolutely fantastic because when you design a game, you're so close to it, you just want everyone to intuit how to play. And whilst Fantasy Quest is, I would say, fairly complex, it's just brilliant that he's been through this and just made sure that everything is in place and everything's in order. But obviously the rules are online and available for all of you to view and go through, and if there are any mistakes or anything that anybody's not 100% clear on, just get in touch with the usual channels and we'll make sure that it's all ironed out and perfect before you all get your copies. But it looks beautiful. Okay, and here's what you get in the game. Cards! So many cards! Wooden tokens. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that got involved with this, because I just envisioned that it was going to be a couple of decks of cards and you guys would actually have to cut the tokens out from the cards themselves, and so they'd be slightly sturdier than paper. But there was a great discussion on Board Game Geek and everybody, basically the general consensus was, we need tokens, and you're absolutely right. And I'm so glad we had this discussion because there's so much wood. Look at all this, bags and bags of it. I had no idea that it would all come baggied up, which I guess is, you know, it's a little bonus. More wood. Okay, and here's some little counters, right? Okay, they look a bit very Euro-y, I would say. Okay, first player token, hero tokens, enemy stranger tokens. Considering we've gone from no tokens to now we have tokens, we have player pawns, we've got dice. All the stuff that I couldn't include previously just because I didn't have the resources. You know, it is just me. I'm not a games company. I've got a full-time job and a family and all that business. So this is a hobby, but the guys that we've used, they've made this sort of dream of mine come to life, because for me and for all the guys I've shown this to, this is just like, it's like a proper game. It's got all the sort of components that you would expect in a proper game. We've got the mini cards here, which are all the heroes' skills and plot cards for the ancients. We're going to have hundreds of pieces of unique art. Again, I'm still using placeholder art for a lot of this because the way that me and my group play, you know, we want to get involved. We want it to feel thematic, and if it was just blank white cards with stats on, the guys aren't as interested in it, and I'm not as interested in playing with a prototype without art. So there is still a lot of pinched art on here purely for our enjoyment. But that will all be replaced with official art once the Kickstarter funds, if it funds, which, you know, fingers crossed. So they're just the mini cards we've got. Look at the state. Hundreds of cards, and this is all included. You know, we've worked through the costs with the printer. We can do this. This game can be real. It can happen if you guys back it and if you like the the vibe of it and everything. Okay, there's a few pieces of art I've paid for already, just out of excitement really. So some of these, I don't want to spoil them all, but some of these have official art on them. In fact, all of these do. You know, here's the orc, the illusionist. It's on a par with any game I've seen. The artists, Lorinda and Anya, they're brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And the stuff that they keep sending me is just jaw-dropping. You know, I can't believe that they've got involved with this game and they believe in the vision that I have for it. Corsair, yeah, look at it, amazing. The final layout is going to look more like this one. This is the old school one, some of you might recognise if you play testers. The iconography it's the stuff I came up with years ago. I mean, this game has been in development for 8 years, so this version certainly looks a bit hokey. This is a little more streamlined. Again, might not be final, but the iconography is just so much better. And again, thanks to all the geeks on Board Game Geek who helped us come up with cooler looking designs. I'm just going to move the camera a bit so you can see. Look at all this stuff. Loot tokens. Okay, so here's one of the first minor issues I would say I have with the game. So I'm just going to open this up, and here's what 1 centimeter tokens look like, which is cool because there's tons of them, but I think genuinely there might be an issue with being able to read what they say. So we're going to get these printed up in double size, you know, in the final version. But these are the things that you get when your hero overcomes encounters. You get loot tokens, and they could be potions and gold. There's so many of them. I feel like doing one of those dice tower openings where they just tip all the components everywhere. That was one of the minor issues, is these tokens are teeny weeny, so we'll get them bumped up in size, but really sturdy, thick chits. So, you know, good quality. You know, the sides look good. They look like they're not gonna chip or tear. Second issue. Okay, so when the box arrived, you can see slightly dented there, and this is entirely my fault. There's a paper fitment you can order that comes with the game, and it just pushes it out so that in transport all of this is much sturdier. You know, you can push it out with your fingers there. And so I've already spoken to the printer about that. We're going to have that in all copies of the game so that, you know, it just arrives and it looks like this side, which is perfectly intact. We're not going to change the Kickstarter price for the sake of that, so that'll be included. The other thing was the cards. When they arrived, they were in the big ones were in a shrink wrap like this, which is just massive, and it physically couldn't fit inside the box, so it came outside of the box. It's all bubble wrapped and protected, all the cards are in great shape and everything. It just meant that physically you have to put them back inside the box yourself, which I'm sure is not too much of an issue. Okay, so some of you have asked how big the box is compared to other games. So here's the DC deck building game. The same problem, look. Anyway, yeah, so look at that. Compact. You know, this thing is going to sit on your shelf and take up so little space, but has so much game packed into it. Thinner, smaller, compact. Here's the generic Fantasy Flight sized game, Eldritch Horror. Look. Okay, so this is pretty much it. We're good to go. I'm ready to go with the Kickstarter. These minor issues, so the blown box corner, we're going to get a paper fitment to push that out and increase the tokens size. Stuff, cards, baggies, dice, tokens, mini cards. Okay, I'm a little bit excited, and maybe that's why I've not gone through it as clearly as I could have done. But there are gameplay videos up there that tell you how to play the game. If you're interested in this, chuck us $1, you support the dream. You know, if you think you'd want to buy a copy of the game, fantastic, get involved. We are going to need 1,000 backers, which is terrifying number for me because it seems like so many, but you know, think about the amount of downloads and stuff, the mods that I did with the Dungeons and Dragons or Lord of the Rings games, you know, they've got thousands of downloads. So if a fraction of the people who enjoyed the stuff that I did with those games gets behind this, we are not only going to fund, we're going to unlock some stretch goals. It's going to open potentially the doorway for 1066, the other game that I did that had some award recognition. And who knows, you know, it might become more than just a hobby. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I can't wait to get the guys round and just get a session of this going with these components because this is so cool. It's so exciting for me. One of the guys from Facebook is back in this game and he's driving a brilliant campaign on Facebook. We've got nearly 1,000 likes on the page there, so please go over and visit that. If you've got any questions at all, any hesitations, get in touch, ask me. I'm just honoured to have so much support to get just to this point. I mean, if the Kickstarter doesn't go anywhere, it's just been brilliant to have this and have a game like my vision of a role-playing game in board game form splattered all over the table, and it's pretty much almost final form. It's just cool. Okay, I just want to say thanks very much for watching. There's so much stuff here. Hundreds of tokens, hundreds of cards. What I believe is a great game underneath it all. It's had nearly 8 years of work going into it. Okay, I'll see you on the Kickstarter. Thanks very much for your time.